Air Canada is facing a heavy fine for failing to meet regulations around accessible transportation. The airline must pay nearly $100,000 over an incident last August in which it failed to assist a passenger using a wheelchair. Tricia Kindleman is on this story for us this morning. So Tricia, good morning to you. What more do we know about this fine handed down to Air Canada?
That's right. Well, it's definitely a severe penalty at this point for the airline. We know it stems from an incident back in August when Prince George resident Rodney Hodgins made his way with his wife for a vacation to Las Vegas. And once they landed, that's when he was told that there was no one available to be able to assist him exiting the plane. So he made his own way off the plane, as you mentioned. He dragged himself up the aisle, and he actually talked about being in a lot of pain after he made that exit, and while they were trying to enjoy their vacation, it definitely had some repercussions. So that was when the Canadian Transportation Agency launched their investigation after a CBC News story was posted. And after a few months of looking into the situation, there was this fine that was laid against the airline. They do have 30 days to request a review at this point, but there's been other reports about other customers as well being dropped by the same airline. So the airline was summoned to Ottawa back in November as well, and their CEO has since apologized for this, saying that they are going to do some improvements, put some efforts into addressing the situation to ensure that these sort of circumstances don't happen again.
Okay, and as you just mentioned, this is not an isolated incident. It's important to point out here that, there have been complaints about mistreatment right across the industry. Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, if you actually head to the Canadian Transportation website, there is a list of their fines and violations, and you can see a steady upward trend there if you remove the years 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic. There, of course, we saw much less travel during that time period. But over the last year or two, again, a steady increase. More than $1.1 million in fines laid so far this year. That's compared to just $725,000 last year. There was a drop in the total number of violations for this year, down to 574. But the one thing that I did notice, which was interesting, was there was a large jump in cautionary notices, as they call them. 133 this year compared to just 9 last year. So it's clear that the airline industry has some situations to address. I should clarify, though, these violations are for everything. So they're for those delays that are within the airline's control and that sort of thing. It's not just for these disabled people instances, but it's definitely something that the industry has to address. There was expected to be another meeting with the transportation minister ahead of the busy holiday travel season that we're seeing now, but at this point it's been unclear if that meeting took place or not.
Okay, well, we'll look for an update on that front. Tricia Kindleman this morning for us. Thank you.